Hey guys, hi. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. As you know, I'm looking for an apartment or a house or something. Let me hide under this tree. It's hot, folks. Las Vegas is hot today. I'm on my way to look at an apartment. I see it, or it's a house. I see it right there. It's that spot at the end of the road. I'm gonna go look at that place. I went on Google Maps to find the location. It's a 1,200 square foot house, a freestanding house, $900 a month, including everything. 6-month lease. After that's month to month, and the landlord said he'd be willing to do lease to own. So I'm like, all right, I'll look at it. He sent me some photos of the inside. He's not here. He's in California or something. But he sent me some photographs. So it looked good. It all looked like tile floor. So I'm going to go check that out. I'm a little disappointed in the how far away it is. Looking at Google Maps, I'm like, oh, that's not that far away from where I go for my recovery meetings. I should be able to get there fairly easily. But it took me 2 buses and probably 20 minutes of walking to get, I'd say almost a half hour actually, to get where I am right now. It would have taken me 20 minutes on a day that wasn't so hot. So I'm a little put off by the distance from anything. There is a Carl's Jr., a McDonald's, and a Taco Bell within a 20-minute walk, but that's it. But the price sounds great. The size sounds great. The pictures look good. So I'm going to go check it out. Oh, what do you think of these sunglasses? They are not as big and dramatic in real life as they look on camera. For some reason, they look huge. And I have a big head. They're by a brand, I had to look up how to pronounce them. Key? Something like that. They're Australian. Apparently they're big on Instagram and YouTube, but I got mine at Marshall's about 2 years ago for 20 bucks. I never wore them. I never wore them once, but I grabbed them on the way out of the house because there's not a cloud in the sky. It's super, super, super bright. So I figured I'd wear these sunglasses. I'm hiding under this tree while I talk with you. Oh, and I want to wish, I said Talita. I want to wish you a very happy birthday. She mentioned in a comment that it was her birthday today on June 13th. And so I want to wish her a very, very happy birthday. I hope she can get out and do something nice now that things are opening up. So thank you for watching my channel, and thank you for all your enthusiasm. I feel it through your comments. You're very sweet. So thank you very much. Happy birthday. All right. Now that the birthday wishes are done, let's go check out this apartment or this house, shall we? So this is the side of the house. It was just painted. I think some of the windows are new. There's a, oh my gosh, there's a few people, I think they're homeless, living right here, in there. And this is the front of the house. It's got a pomegranate tree, which is not balancing the homeless people living across the street. A lot of gravel. I hope I don't sound heartless. I just walked a half hour in the sun. I'm a little cranky. And it's got this very strange patio tile thing. Very oddly placed. Yeah, that's the place. I'll get back under this tree. So I'm back where I was a few minutes ago, after looking at that place. From the outside, it was actually quite promising. It was newly painted. I think there were construction workers in there. The side door was ajar a little bit so I could peek in. There was a bathroom sink and a toilet and a couple other things in the side of the yard. So apparently they've been cleaning the place out, gutting it, and making it nice and new. They re-stuccoed and painted the outside. The floors, the tile work on the inside looked new because I was peeking in. I didn't want to go in because I'm really not interested. I didn't want to go through the whole thing of looking at the place because I'm not interested. This is, what else about the place? The windows are new, so that the people who own the place are clearly making it as appealing as possible, but there's very little they can do about the location. If I had a car, it might be a different story, but I don't, and I really don't want to get a car and an apartment and be penniless. The view of the end of the street, the apartment, the house is right back behind me, and this is the end of the street. So to get to the airport, I would have to walk that way to the street that's over there, then one more block that way, which is Charleston, and then take a bus that way, and then take a bus that way to the airport. The Stratosphere is right there. That's the Stratosphere. It's closer than it looks. So, yeah. The location is kind of a problem, and I hope the wind isn't too much of a problem. I hope you can still hear me. And the traffic. The location is a problem. The surrounding area is kind of lower than where I am right now. It's a little bit less together than my neighborhood, which is saying a little bit. And I pointed out, I was trying to be as nonchalant about it as possible, but there's an encampment which looks pretty well entrenched of homeless folks living there. And with this wind, I hope you can still hear me. There's a pretty serious and it's like a camp. Oh, this wind. One sec. All right. This wind is too much. I'm going to let you go for now. See you soon. Hey guys. Hi. So, as you can see, I am back home. My little beautiful silhouette of Buddy up on the top there. I don't know where the girls are. It is about 6:30 in the afternoon. I've been on the go since about 2 to go try and get out to that little house, and you saw what I saw there. I didn't show you what I saw of the inside. I could look into the door a little bit, but on top of everything else around the house, I was not interested enough to actually go in. I was tempted to knock on the door and ask the construction workers if I could take a little look, but yeah, so that is going to be a hard no. It's impossibly located for me. It would just be impossible without having to Uber everywhere, which is just, you know, I could Uber to work, as I sometimes do, but to even get to the grocery store or to go to the strip or to go get a rental car, for example, over at Fox Rental, I would literally have to Uber there every time, and it would just be impossible. Never mind the neighborhood, the lack of anything in the neighborhood. It was a little bit more depressed immediately in the immediate vicinity than my current neighborhood. And there was just nothing nearby. There's no grocery store nearby, convenience store, CVS, nothing. And then there was that little semi-permanent structure, I think, that some people were living in across the street in that abandoned lot. So it just wasn't going to be something I could move into. I did hear from one of the folks I reached out to through Craigslist. I've spoke with them, well, texted them maybe 4 or 5 times, twice asking for us to schedule an appointment to look at the apartment right on East Sahara. It's pretty convenient and a nice location. But both times they kind of skirted around that question. So I'm assuming maybe they have somebody else already set up. I don't know, but yeah. So I've had a few hours today to think. And at one point, I literally thought, what would my sponsor in Boston, John, what would he ask me. Because he wouldn't tell me anything. He would ask me, like a therapist, you know, to sort of ask you questions and have you figure it out on your own. So he would have already asked me, Stephen, what is your motivation for leaving? What's your inspiration, your rationale for leaving and moving into an apartment? And I really would have had to, if I were honest to him, it would be, I'm mildly inconvenienced every day. In terms of space, because I have sacrificed gladly, willingly, pretty much every inch of my apartment to my cats. And I'm glad, because they're as healthy and happy as they could be in this limited space. But I'm mildly inconvenienced. Coming home each night, when I come home from work with my bags and stuff, it's like, it just seems smaller and smaller every day. But before this, I was living in a crash pad, sleeping in a closet. No joke. I was in a closet. For months. And before that, I was in a crash pad on a little teeny skinny bunk bed, little tiny IKEA metal bunk bed with my downstairs bunkmate literally making whoopee with his girlfriend while I'm in the top bunk. Really happened. Yeah. And before that, living in a minivan, right? So the mild inconvenience I go through when I'm in my apartment, that is what I'm trying to use as a rationale for moving into a much larger apartment. And then here I was trying to somehow rationalize, and you guys are so sweet, because very few of you, some of you did, very few of you told me, Stephen, you're crazy. I don't make enough money to spend $1,200 a month on rent. I just don't. I don't. I did get a pay raise. Did I mention that? I don't know if I mentioned it in this video. I did get a pay raise starting March 1st. And then I got a tiny little bump in May. I'll probably really only see the full fruit of those raises probably in August, because I didn't fly in May. June, I've only had 2 small short trips, so I'm not going to see any per diem or any lead pay or stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing my full ripe potential paycheck in August 15th. So I'll share that with you, because I think it'd be a good indicator of how my income has raised over the years. I don't know how I've been trying to rationalize spending $1,200 a month on rent. So, as you probably can tell, what I'm thinking is of staying in this apartment, and that makes me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth. I'm growing to hate it, but I really have to say I have it good. Again, I was living in a crash pad, a minivan. Now I have a studio apartment. The cats are fine. Look at Buddy. Yeah, he really wants to go outside. What he's doing right now is looking out that window thinking, if that bastard would only let me outside. Yeah, so I'm going to stay in this apartment. Unless, one caveat, unless the apartment complex next door to me, it's a compromise, because it's in the same apartment, the same neighborhood, obviously. But the space is twice what I have right now. No carpeting, which would be great. Lots of windows, and it's about $200 more a month, $250 more a month. So I would move in there for a larger apartment. But other than that, if they don't contact me again, if they don't return my contact, then I'm thinking I'll stay in this apartment for a little while, say a year, which again makes me want to throw up. But a year goes by so quick, right? But, you know, if I were just to save my incremental pay, the raise that I got, because it's almost $3 an hour that I got more, including my little union bump. If I were just to save that, and whatever else I can save, you know, trying to be as frugal as possible, how much money could I save in a year? You know, that would be a significant amount for me. So I'm thinking, if I stay in this apartment, and just doesn't that sound sad? It sounds like liver and onions in my mouth is what it, but, so if I saved a fair amount of money next year, could I do something with that? Either invest in a car, a vehicle, or invest in a house or something, which still feels weird. I would not buy here. I would not buy here in Las Vegas. I've decided that. I don't want to live here forever. I love Las Vegas flying. We have very easy flying. We don't do many international trips. I hate international trips. And I like the weather here in Las Vegas. But, you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble, I don't go to girly bars. There's just nothing here to do for me. I go to Red Rock and Valley of Fire once in a while when I rent a car, but there's nothing else really here for me, except nice weather and cheap living. So I would ideally like to move to Florida, which doesn't thrill me because Florida is just that. But the St. Pete area just feels like a sane little bubble. I like the St. Pete area. Fantasy would be to live in Palm Harbor, Dunedin, Clearwater maybe, but the fantasy would be to live down near Treasure Island. Linda, you know where that is. That would be the fantasy, is to buy a little teeny place there, but anywhere. And I could easily drive from there to Orlando. I would transfer to Orlando. So that's an idea. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. I'm a little depressed because, again, I had developed this little desire, this little feeling. I've turned it into a reality inside my head, and I wanted to take action on it because I'm an immature, childish, grandiose person. So yeah, so I think I'm going to stay here in this apartment and just try and save as much money as possible. In part of that effort, and I don't think I've shared this with you on a video, I've told a few people, but I've paid off my credit card debt. How exciting is that? I didn't have a lot of debt. I probably had, because it kind of grew and grew and grew over the past year, because I've paid it off before using my tax refund and stuff like that. But I had maybe $2,500 in debt at my worst this year, and I kept throwing money at it, and it really wasn't changing much until I decided just to throw large amounts at it. And over the past 4 or 5 months, I've paid off my 2 credit cards. Right now, I think I've got $23 on one. The other is 0. If anything, I think I've got like a $25 credit because I made an automatic payment by accident. So I've paid off my credit cards. So I don't have that debt. So if I if I just try to save and be as frugal as possible, what could I do with that money later on, right? So I'm going to try and consider this a gift to myself by sacrificing and staying here for a little while longer. I might go to IKEA, I have to rent a car to do that, and buy a larger kitchen table with some extra chairs so that the cats can jump up here and do what they want to do and be close to me, and I'll still have room to like eat a meal. So I think I might just need to buy a larger kitchen table so there's room for all of us at the table. Crazy, but it's better than maybe spending $1,200 a month on rent, right? Okay. All right, so I am going to, if I were really an adult, I would sit down right now and make dinner, but I'm not. I have a piece of carrot cake, which I'm going to eat instead right now because I am craving it. And I did a lot of walking today. And if I think my birthday cake in March was just awful. So this is my little replacement for that. I think that's it. I do have notes. I always do that, don't I? I always say, this is it, I'm done talking, and then I keep talking. I do have a couple pages of notes that I made regarding a video I want to make about traveling with children on an airplane. So I might make that video tomorrow. Yeah, I might make that tomorrow if I'm in the mood. If not, the day after. So look forward to that. If anything else happens tonight, or any other stray thoughts cross my mind, I'll share those with you before I end this video. But for now, fly safe.